In time, you will know the tragic extent of my failings.
Hello everyone, Science Viking here, and it's time to return to Darkest Dungeon. A quick see if there's anybody I can upgrade. A little bit, but there's not really many good upgrades available just yet. And I want to hold on to some of my cash, actually. So, that's enough upgrading for now. Let's find ourselves another mission. Let's see, what are our options? I mean, I could always just go straight to the Darkest Dungeon, but I probably shouldn't. I mean, they're offering me the Demon's Cauldron for the Occultist, so maybe I should go straight to the Darkest Dungeon. And Infestation is raised to the medium level. Ah, so if I beat the Baron, I get the Baron's Lash, which gives buffs specifically to a hero who has the Crimson Curse. Let's see. So my other options, I get Suffering's Collar for a Flagellant I don't have. Actually, we really should be doing a novice level mission to train some people up. Okay, the Antiquarian stress is a little too high, I think. So let's see. I can get the Dodgy Sheath. We get the Diseased Herb. Oh, the Thing from the Stars is in the Cove this week. We get Punishment's Hood, again for the Flagellant. It really wants me to take Punishment's Hood. It looks like I'm going to be going for either the Ruins or the Warrens. Let's see. The Dodgy Sheath isn't very good, but neither is the Diseased Herb. I'd say the Diseased Herb is the better of the two, but yeah, I'm going to go for this mission for now. Alright, and I forgot, actually, there's one thing I want to do first. Back to the Hamlet, or the Guild, and let's have this Leper learn Solemnity. I'm even going to upgrade that and Chop. Okay, that really is all the gold I can afford to spend. Alright, and if we're going to the Ruins, I ought to bring a Crusader. And now it's just a matter of bringing a good medic. And this Vestal over here looks like a good medic. And we're back to using the good, the bad, and the ugly. So it trinkets by character class restriction, and we're off. Let's see. I give the Vestal a Dodge Stone and the Snake Oil. If I can figure out how to actually drag the Snake Oil to the equipment slot. Highwayman gets a Drifter's Buckle and a Stalwart Buckle. That's going to be a bit of an issue for stress, but the 11% base critical chance is rather nice. And for you, the Paralyzer's Crest and the Swordsman's Crest. And for you, the Healing Armlet, and I have anything that can increase your accuracy? No I don't, so I'll give you a Dodge Stone. I'm also going to trade, Intimidate for Solemnity, because there shouldn't be enemies that use Stealth in a rank 1 mission. Everybody else's ability set is about right, so let us begin. I will need to bring a couple of vials of the blood just in case. Bring a decent amount of food, plenty of torches, a shovel or two, a bandage or two, and some keys. And that ought to take care of us for a short mission. Mainly I need, really, heirlooms and gold, both, actually. I need heirlooms in order to,
Pace out the halls of your lineage once familiar, now foreign.
I need heirlooms in order to... Yeah, great. He already stressed himself. I need heirlooms in order to upgrade mainly the guild and the blacksmith so we can actually have high-level equipment. Okay. And they're opening up the shank, and our first fight of the episode, and we're already surprised. Wonderful. Okay. Keep opening veins. We can move forward one. That's at least somewhat helpful. You can probably stun the cutthroat. That's also helpful. And frankly, the highwayman can handle the bloodletter pretty much by himself. It's a matter of dealing with the other two. And the leper can only move forward. I hadn't thought about that before. I'm just gonna go for judgment on the Fusilier. There's not really much else the Vestal can do. I mean, I guess we've all taken a little bit of damage, but not really enough to worry about. And Smite to help finish off the bloodletter. And Blanket Fire to help make us regret ever being born.
Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
Do you need to move forward one more before you can use Solemnity? Because healing yourself is something that you can only do on the front lines of combat. It really brings a new meaning to battlefield medicine. Just gonna go with Inspiring Cry on the leper for now. And heal. And miss. Because, of course, it's a leper. Of course he misses. And I meant to use Judgment and accidentally use Dazzling Light, so this guy's still alive.
Disadvantage.
Now he is.
Give them no quarter.
Chop. Ow. Ow. That's my official response to that. Let's quick fix the ow. And let's try to inspire his blood back into his body.
The match is struck. A blazing star is born.
And there we go. That went kind of wrong.
Mount, so too will resistance.
Managed to turn around rather quickly just because we got surprised. Of course, this is not a very shuffle-resistant team composition. And yeah, I am just ignoring the bleeding. Ignore it and it'll go away. That's how I handle most of my problems. And now let's go this way. Just go right and then left. And we've got our first hunger of the mission. It's a good thing I didn't manage to forget food. No, I usually don't forget food. It's torches that I have a very tenuous relationship with.
Curious is the trap maker's art. His efficacy unwitnessed by his own eyes.
We just run into all kinds of bookshelves and nothing else here. Is this like the library section of the estate or something? And it's everyone's favorite move, backed by popular demand, Tempting Goblet. Okay, let's light up a torch. Pistol shot won't one shot without a critical. Chop could kill if it hits, and 80% is pretty good, he says as the attack misses. But Judgment will get rid of the torture.
Confidence surges
one
as the
fewer
enemy
tempting
crumbles.
goblets we have to deal with. Unfortunately, I can't really rely on the Vestal as a damage dealer because the health levels are starting to get a little low. I really don't want to deal with Bone Bulwark, though, so please stun. Thank you. Thank you. Alright, at this point, I actually need to put some effort into healing, which means we have to let the Courtier live for a little while. And the defender's going with Axe Blade instead of Bone Bulwark. That's good. In fact, looking at his ability list, we have yet to have a bone defender use bone bulwark in this playthrough. Which means we don't know it exists yet. But I know. As opposed to the courtiers, who pretty much can't be stopped from using Tempting Goblin. It's just the only thing that they do.
A faint hope blossoms.
Go for Solemnity, because I don't want you afflicted yet. And let's just go with Smite.
Continue the onslaught.
Courtier's in kind of an inconvenient position, but he's at least all by himself. And he decided to pick a new target. That's good. Well, good-ish. And he's dead. That's definitely good. There's no ish there. He's just good. We've turned the courtier. We've turned him into a good courtier.
Overconfidence is a slow and
the dead
insidious killer.
Okay, got plenty of heirlooms all of a sudden. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I probably can only afford to skip one, which means there will be more backtracking. And our first use of a key. And it's for more heirlooms. Okay, the Crimson Curse hasn't progressed on this guy. That's good. It may not before the end of the mission. And the lock mechanism is trapped. Fortunately, he resisted blight. Unfortunately, it means we didn't get any loot. What have we here? Nothing! We have nothing here. Oh, back the other way then. Okay, and now he's craving. Minus 10% virtue chance. Yeah, the Crimson Curse is kind of bad. Unfortunately, it's also rather hard to avoid being infected by it. I'm almost tempted to just start dismissing people when the Crimson Curse gets bad enough. I suppose on a Stygian run you might have to, because the Crimson Curse can cause people to die if you don't have enough
Another
blood.
Abomination cleansed
I probably should have gone for the Aura Blood for that, but I wanted the one shot. And on Stygian, if too many of your heroes die, you just lose. So it might actually be that in the Stygian run you have to dismiss people when the Crimson Curse gets too far.
Their formation is broken.
Because, speaking of which, Darkest Dungeon is hard. Does anybody know that? Because Darkest Dungeon is hard. Ooh. May as well actually go for Inspiring Cry on the Leper to reduce the chance that he comes out afflicted. And Judgment might finish the job, but it doesn't. Because the theme of this episode is disappointment. And Grape Shot Blast manages to hit everything except the one thing I needed it to hit. Sticking with Inspiring Cry for now. And Judgment should actually do the job this time. Okay.
Ghoulish horrors, brought low and driven into the mud.
Okay, and this could be the Fanatic guy. I guess we'll find out in a moment. It'd be nice if more of these curios could contain heirlooms, or just valuable loot in general. But we've gotten an okay haul. Okay, it would have been really cool if Grape Shot Blast managed to kill all of them, even though it was never going to happen.
A momentary abatement.
And
Another
there we go.
one falls.
And 150 gold. Just a reminder that that wasn't
promises success.
Just a reminder that wasn't a real enemy group, because real enemy groups cause damage and give loot. Anyway, let's get out of here before we manage to run into that Fanatic
The
guy.
great ruins belong to us, and we will find whatever secrets they hold.
Just keep telling yourself that, Ancestor. I'm sure it helps you sleep at night. And we got some heirlooms. And nobody leveled up. And the Vestal is a dud hitter. That actually could be a problem since criticals apply to healing as well as damage.
In time, you will know the tragic extent of my failings.
Okay. Some people need some stress treatment. I'm going to try to avoid spending 1,500 gold on it, though. And... actually, wait, you're going to have the same problem, costing 1,500 at the Penance Hall. But at the Gambling Hall, you're only 1,250. Not much of a difference, but I'm going to try to make the most of it. Over here... I could maybe afford weaponsmithing and advanced weaponsmithing and armor smithing. But I definitely can't afford the next level of instructor mastery. So let's go for weaponsmithing. So I need 20 deeds. I have that now. And I also need 21 crests. Oh, I can also trade crystal shards for heirlooms. I hadn't thought about that. This will bring me up to 20, which means I just need one more. And I'm going to go with weaponsmithing. And that's definitely all of the structure upgrading I can do. But it allows me to upgrade Reynald's weapon a step beyond what it was before. And, shock and surprise, we're out of money again. Oh, these are the caretaker goals. That's what they look like when they're closed. So, time for more questing. Okay, so the ruins are giving me All Saints Day, which isn't actually that helpful since the stress levels aren't that high. The thing from the stars continues to haunt the cove. Okay, I have a short apprentice level mission in the Warrens that will get me the Warrior's Cap. I want the Warrior's Cap because the Warrior's Cap increases the accuracy of melee skills. You know, those things that the leper uses and never manages to hit with. I'm going to bring Vivial for this one. And I can't bring a main healer. But I can bring a Plague Doctor with Battlefield Medicine to at least deal with Blight. And I may as well bring an antiquarian while I'm at it. And I'll trade invigorating vapors for festering vapors. Not that they're likely to be very good, considering the blight resistance that everything in the Warrens has. Okay, so for you, Caution Cloak is good. Someone's getting the Blight Charm, but it isn't you. I'll give you a Dodge Stone. Plague Doctor gets the Diseased Herb, just reducing the cost of fixing everything at the end, and the Rot Gut Sensor. Crusader, no surprise, is going to keep using the Paralyzer's Crest and the Swordsman's Crest, and the Leper gets the Healing Armlet, and, what else? I'll give him the Snake Oil. Actually, I'll give him a Dodge Stone instead. And, once again, a short mission. Because frankly, I just need to scrape together the resources before I can take on anything more ambitious. Let's go with just 8 food, but 1 more medicinal herbs. Some torches. Actually, we're only going to need 1 medicinal herbs. Need a few more torches. Plenty of anti-venom and a couple of bandages this time. 1 more key. 1 more holy water, and let's do 2 more keys, and that should be enough for a short mission. Because I'm not used to having to pinch pennies this much in this game. I'm used to having more gold than this. Hopefully the antiquarian will help
to
with
prosecute our war against the swine, we must first scout their squalid homes.
Okay, there's going to be a little bit of backtracking, but I can keep it to a minimum. Also, I forgot to bring any of the blood, and the person with the Crimson Curse is already in the craving stage. Because I always manage to forget something. It's not always the same thing, but it's always something. Okay, maggots and spiders. I think we can handle this. Blade grenade blights 4 points in 3 rounds. And actually, the spiders have pretty low blight resistance. So Hugh has 75% accuracy. Chop also has 75% accuracy. But since either of them could one-shot these maggots, and Hugh is aiming at more targets, Hugh is actually more likely to kill something.
Back to the pit.
And has the possibility of killing multiple somethings.
Executed with impunity.
And there we go. And we found the blood! I'm gonna save, since you're currently just at the craving stage, I'm gonna save that for if a fight starts to go badly. Darn it, Reynold, I want the antiquarian to do that. I need to get that quirk fixed. Unfortunately, that would require money, which is just a luxury we don't get to have in this playthrough. Plague Doctor can handle the drummer by himself. Craving itself speaks through. Okay, let's see if we can just get rid of the carrying leader. Really was foolish to try. But Reynold can deal with it. Okay, that just leaves the chopper and the drummer. I'm actually going to double up on blighting the drummer. Not that it does much. And our old friend Butcher Cut. And that does a kind of bleeding that actually requires attention. So that spells the end for the drummer. Battlefield medicine will deal with our bleeding problem.
Slowly.
Congratulations, Swine Drummer. You did nothing.
This is how a life is taken.
And he gets one more Butcher Cut, but it misses. Thank you, Dodge. I'm crediting that to the Dodge Stone. I know the leper has natural dodge, but just let me have this. I want to take credit for this one.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
Another minor antique. And I need to do this room and then these 3, but I can skip this room battle with nothing else in it.
Mind that such missteps are the exception and not the rule.
Okay, and nobody's messing it up this time, so the antiquarian can examine the rack of blades in case one of them is like an antique blade.
If only treasure could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption.
Okay, yeah, nothing good going that way, so let's just go back this way and light up one of our spare torches. Need to be a bit more careful with the light level since I don't have access to dazzling light anymore. Fun while it lasted, but the Vestal is busy drinking her sorrows away, I think. No, she's the one in the game.
Such blockages are unsurprising.
I didn't bring any shovels,
predate even the earliest settlers.
I always forget something. Sometimes I forget more than one something. Would you believe they let me be in charge? Because apparently they do, and I'm still wondering why. I'm guessing blackmail is involved somehow, though I think if I was blackmailing someone, I would know that. God damn it, Reynold.
Packs laden with loot are often low on supplies.
You're too helpful to dismiss, but you keep screwing things up. Well, one more room and we're out of here, which means the fanatic is probably in this hallway somewhere.
Finding the stuff is only the first test. Now it must be carried home.
Almost as bad. Instead, we get the collector. That's not really much of an improvement. I am pretty sure I can take him, though. He already gets to use collect call. This is not exactly a good team for taking on the collector, but it's not impossible. Step 1, we're using the blood. Step 2, low accuracy, high damage, I'm using Q. Follow that up with zealous accusation, and we might get rid of both of them.
Is broken. Maintain the offensive.
I'm just gonna have the antiquarian stick with festering vapors because in the long run, it's actually the most damaging ability she's got. Though in hindsight, I should have used nervous stab. head games. That's not really that significant. The extra protection will mean very little because of how little. Because he only has, what, 2 hit points left? Let's stick with you.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
Of course, now he's probably going to use... Oh, he's using Show Collect... Thank you! Okay, I think the Collector's going easy on me. Show Collection was the least destructive thing he could have done in that situation. Okay, Smite would do 10 to 19, but Stunning Blow would leave him open to be hit by Hue or Chop if it stuns, which is a 50% chance. I'm taking the risk. And there we go. Which means now he'll still be in position 2 next turn, and I can hit him with Chop. It'll also leave him open to the stronger Blighting attack from the Plague Doctor, and that doesn't... Okay, that does matter. Alright, Noxious Blast. And his Blight resistance is 0. Unfortunately, the Plague Doctor is in some real danger. Alright, let's go with Nervous Stab. Let's see if we can get rid of the Collected Highwayman. And we can! And that's that.
Give them no quarter.
Go ahead, try to use Collect Call. I dare you. Unfortunately...
Success so clearly in view.
We're out of bandages,
Or
and
is
the
it
Plague
merely
Doctor
a
is
trick
bleeding...
of the light?
Unfortunately, we're out of bandages, and the Plague Doctor is bleeding for more hit points than he has. Just edge to the last room, and there's a fight, which is actually arguably more good than bad, because I can use Battlefield Medicine for bleeding. Won't restore very many hit points, though. Just gonna have to deal with that the old-fashioned way, which is
body
hope.
and brain.
The good news is the Bloodlust effect persists, which means extra damage on a character that already has very high damage. Unfortunately, he also has very low accuracy, as we have been learning the hard, slow, and painful way. Let's grab you an anti-venom. And Smite does 10 to 19, Zealous Accusation does 6 to 11, so Smite's a lot more likely to kill.
Annihilated.
I want to eliminate as many of these things as I can. And in the meantime, I'll have the Antiquarian gradually wear down the Drummer. It's gonna take a while, but there's not much else she can do since she isn't gonna have Emboldening Vapors.
And now the true
Oh,
test.
damn it.
Hold fast or
Okay,
expire.
at least destroy the corpse with you. Thank you. You at least did something helpful. You're going for Battlefield Medicine to get the Plague Doctor off of Death's Door. Yeah, this is what I mean, that maybe it's a good idea to just dismiss people who have the Crimson Curse. The problem is some of them are too damn helpful for me to get rid of them. And the Plague Doctor's on Death's Door again. He's Neo, the Plague Doctor, is basically Death's yo-yo at this point. He's up and he's down, and he's up and he's down, and he's blighted and he's at Death's Door, and this is not good.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Let's go Festering Vapors to try to end the fight as quickly as possible. And another death blow check, or not. Hugh, get rid of the corpse, and please let the Crusader go first. Thank you. Thank you. Because now the fight is over.
This expedition
And the quest is over.
Success.
And there won't be a death blow check because I didn't actually have a tick happen between him being reduced to Death's Door and the end of the quest. Everyone's stress level is absurdly high, but at least we're all alive.
Impossible.
Well, we have managed to become marginally less broke than we were at the beginning of the mission. And got a couple of heirlooms, but not enough to actually do anything. And Reynold is up to level 3. Great. Viviel has a torn rotator. Alright, we're gonna need some stress treatment. We're gonna need it soon.
A troubling shortage of ale and a notable absence of good humor.
Okay, so the brothel is the only one that's available. We'll send the leopard to the brothel. Try not to think about that too much. Okay, Reynold can go to the transept. Tessel can go to the cloister. And Neo, yeah, you can go to the penance hall. Those guys, those are all going to need some treatment. Alright. I'm actually going to upgrade the Arablest's crossbow. I'm also going to upgrade the dog. And we're out of money again. Let me quick adjust the DPI on my mouse because I keep accidentally increasing it, and sort actually by level. Okay, so I only have 3 people who are medium resolve level. I also only have 3 people who have the Crimson Curse. So I need another one of those before I start actually taking on medium missions. Okay, I could attempt to kill the Swine Prince. What kind of team could I... Let's sort by level again. Actually, let's stick with sorted by class. I really want a mark exploitation team for the Swine Prince. What could I put together? So I have a Houndmaster. I have a Vestal. I have a Houndmaster and a Cultist. I don't have a good melee class that can do mark exploitation. But I do have a, I could bring a leper. Let's say I brought a leper. What Houndmaster abilities do you... Okay, you have the good Houndmaster abilities. A Houndmaster with potential for Bloodlust. And a Cultist. And a Highwayman. I'm going to trade Wicked Slice for Open Vein since we're not fighting skeletons. And trade Point Blank Shot for Wicked Slice because you can at least actually use that in position 3. And I think this is feasible. It's not going to be easy, but I think it's feasible. Unequip all trinkets, sort by character class, and what do we got? I have nothing that increases healing and nothing that's specific to the occultist, so let's just go with the snake oil and a dodge stone to keep the main healer operational as long as possible. Yes, he has the right abilities, other than, he really shouldn't have sacrificial stab, he should have demon's pull. For you, let's go with the drifter's buckle and the stalwart buckle. The base 11% critical chance is going to be kind of important. For you, you get the Archer's Ring because the dog is ranged and you're known to have accuracy issues. And I'll just give you a Blight Charm because you're a little fragile. The Leper gets the Healing Armlet and the Leper gets the Warrior's Cap. Alright. You have Chop. This Leper does not know Hue. He only knows Chop. I'm just going to go back out of here and have him learn... I'm gonna spend a little gold and upgrade these people a little bit. Traley, learn Hue, upgrade Chop, learn Solemnity and upgrade it. And congratulations, we're now too broke to do anything else. Okay, provision. We have medicinal herbs. We need a little food to get us to where we have... to get us to a meat wagon to replenish the food. That should be enough torches. Need to bring some of the blood. We can live without skeleton keys, however, bandages and anti-venom are necessary. Cannot forget shovels. I don't believe I'm missing anything. 8 food is a little low. I'm going to bring that up to 12. I'm kind of gambling that we run into a meat wagon since that gets us free food. I could bring shard dust, but I don't think I'm going to do that. So, I'm not bringing most of the curio interaction stuff, but we're low on cash. Let's do this.
The ways and rituals of blood sacrifice are difficult to master. Those from beyond require a physical vessel if they are to make the crossing into our reality. The timing of the chants is imperative. Without the proper utterances at precise intervals, the process can fail spectacularly. A nameless abomination. A testament to my failures. It must be destroyed.
So, we just get an introduction to how to summon the Eldritch, along with an illustration of why you really should not do that. Perhaps this contains the blood. Yeah, he's craving, but craving is manageable. I brought 2 vials of blood for a reason. And this is a room battle with treasure, because there's always a room battle when there's treasure. And this is basically the perfect... This is basically the perfect enemy team composition for my team composition. 1 actually important target all the way in the back, susceptible to mark exploitation. And then 3 relatively fragile enemies that the leper can just chew through.
Press disadvantage.
And yes, I did just use Demon's Pull to kill something. Okay, and then I can use the other 2 to take out the one in position 3, and the leper can handle the one in position 2 all by himself. This is one of the best enemy team compositions they could have given.
Annihilated.
Let's go with Weakening Curse, because there's not really much else that the occultist can do right now. Unfortunately, this team is a little short on stress management skills. Grab an anti-venom, and go with Lick Wounds, actually. I'm going to trust that the leper can handle this.
Destroyed.
And my trust is rewarded. It usually isn't, but this time it is.
This expedition at least promises success.
Okay, go for a key, because we lose the heirlooms we're going to get from this. And now we just have to deal with the hallway battle, and I'm surprised we haven't run into the Fanatic yet, though. If we run into him, we're in real trouble. And another of basically the same team composition. And Petramel has just decided the rest of the team isn't necessary. He is just going to personally kill everything.
Decimated.
And not to be outdone, the Houndmaster gets the biggest critical we've seen in this playthrough so far.
A brilliant confluence of skill and purpose.
And I don't want to undersell this. In addition to those 2, we have a leper who has yet to miss.
Is a slow and insidious killer.
This actually bodes pretty well, and I'm going to go off the map and go this way, because I'm fairly certain the Swine Prince is in one of these 3 rooms, but I can't be more specific than that, because bosses tend to be as far as they can get from your starting position. And a dinner cart. We're calling them meat wagons, but... Okay, I'm actually going to let the healing armlet go. I probably should have dropped the citrine, but, well, we all make mistakes. Especially me. Mistakes are kind of my specialty. I'm actually going to use these 2 to take out the back line. Start with Pistol Shot, then Demon's Pull.
As the fiend falls,
that's one of them done.
Blossoms.
And the Cutthroat decided to get some revenge for us. Wait, he didn't leave behind a corpse. Do enemies not leave behind corpses when you kill them with moving? When you both kill them and move them with the same action? Huh. That's weird. I mean, I'm not complaining, but it's weird. Demon's Pull wins kill, but that's not really significant. Now I can still Hound's Rush the Bloodletter. Nice big critical. And for the coup de grace, Grape Shot Blast that missed. Oops. And I don't have Hue equipped, so I can't really try that again. And yeah, he gets to punish us for that. That was a big mistake. But that's the end of the Bloodletter.
Perhaps the
Now
turning point.
Cutthroat. And Hound's Rush will handle
Their
them.
formation is broken. Maintain
You know,
the offensive.
The accuracy boosting trinkets have really made a big difference. We haven't had any issues with not being able to hit the targets. Okay, I definitely want the busts. I'll drop the citrine for the busts. I'm not going to do anything with the sacrificial stone. Okay, the question is, do I make camp now in preparation for the boss, since I don't know where the boss is? I'm actually going to try going here, because this room is empty, and the hallway, I believe, is also empty. Get some hunger to get everyone up to full health. Just to gamble that we get scouting when we get into this room, because I want to know where the boss is so I don't stumble into it by accident. And no luck, but since I'm certain the boss is in one of these 3 rooms, I'm just going to make camp now. Feast,
Gathered
get the stress levels good and low.
tenuous firelight, and uneasy companionship.
Hound's Watch, guarantee that we don't get captured. Clean Guns, to increase accuracy, damage, and critical chance of ranged skills. And then, I don't have Reflection, so I'll just have the Leper encourage the Cultist. And I guess a pep talk on the Occultist to reduce his stress intake, and here we go.
In Radiance,
Increased
may
scouting
we find
chance, not that it
victory.
matters anymore. Okay, it can only be one of these 4, and I'm 99% sure that it's one of these 3. It isn't this, but now we get the answer. It was this room, but I managed to avoid this room battle by doing things the way that I did them. Alright, one more hallway battle, at least a challenging one this time, and then the boss. Okay. Target Whistle reduces the target's protection. If I were to use Hound's Rush, it would still do 6 to 10, though. I'm just going to go after the slasher that way. Grape Shot Blast, finish it off, or miss instead. Okay, Demon's Pull can't reach it, and Weakening Curse will do 1 to 2, as would Vulnerability Hex would do nothing. But Weakening Curse got the kill. The Occultist doesn't even have Sacrificial Stab or Abyssal Artillery equipped, and he's still getting plenty of kills. He steps in at just the right moment to finish the enemy off.
Death waits for the slightest lapse in concentration.
Gonna need weird reconstruction. Come on, big money, big money. 3. And bleeding. I said big money, not big disappointment. Though, like I said, disappointment is the theme of this episode, so I don't know what I was expecting. See? More disappointment. Alright. Hound's Rush on that. Rear Shot Blast. Take out both of them.
As the enemy crumbles.
Okay, we're going in with the Leper's health a bit lower than I'd like it to be. And we don't have any holy water, so I can't do anything with those. Here we go. Swine Prince time.
It is a travesty.
I agree.
Wandering mountain of hatred and rage.
Okay. Vulnerability Hex. Its dodge and protection are both already 0, and the mark will still be important. And now, good old-fashioned pistol shot with its 8 to 15. Or 22. But more importantly, I have the blood to get us up to Bloodlust, and dog treats to boost the Hound's power, and just a little plus 50% damage. Plus 50% damage on the treats, plus 25% damage on the Bloodlust, so just a nice, cozy plus 75% to attack damage, and a nice boost to accuracy while we're at it, against a marked target. He can break 20 damage without getting a critical. Unfortunately, this enemy hits very hard. Fortunately, so do we. And these two, and that also does a little bit more damage. Wilbur is basically his equivalent of the Occultist, but you can't inflict big damage if you're dead.
The wounds of war can be healed.
And the Swine Prince is already down to 54 hit points, which means next round will be the end of him. But even with criticals, there was no way we could have killed him before he got one more attack. Okay, the Leper's in some trouble. Wilbur's marks don't last as long as ours do. But He's bleeding for 3 and he has 3 hit points. Which means I can just target Wilbur now. Oh, I actually can't. I forgot.
Blurred vision. The end approaches.
And now 2 people are at death's door because I forgot about that, and half and 3/4 of the team is stunned.
How many
Oops.
rats will it take to gnaw through a ton of putrid flesh?
And he gets to use Squeal, which...
Soaks the soil.
Oh god. I shouldn't laugh because that's terrible. But Wilbur managed to kill half my team. Yeah, I forgot that he uses Enraged Destruction no matter what if you damage Wilbur, and that Enraged Destruction doesn't consume a turn, so the damage over time didn't mean anything. Okay, I'm just gonna have the Occultist heal himself. I mean, we can take Wilbur. Open Vein will do nice. We can handle Wilbur, but I just lost half my team to a pig.
Weapon that comes on its own.
Okay, drop the supply items so they can take the other stuff back.
As the light gains purchase, spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
Okay, let's get out of here before I manage to screw something else up. Oops. Yeah, my official stance on that is oops. That was an oops. Though, that is one more boss that we're rid of. Though, again, we didn't get a blueprint. I'm guessing by defeating bosses to get blueprints, they mean defeating, like, the 3rd final form of boss. Okay, and the Occultist has increased disease resistance. And the Highwayman is obsessed with cleanliness.
The degeneracy of the hamlet
Ooh,
is
Reynolds' stress
nothing I
went way
fear
down.
when compared to the condition of surrounding acres.
And I have a restraining padlock for the first time, and we have 2 vacancies. Let's see what we can find to fill them. A Vestal, an Antiquarian, and a Flagellant. We already have 2 Vestals, but a second Antiquarian could be really helpful with our funding problems.
She searches where others will not go, and sees what others will not see.
And let's grab and the Flagellant actually has a lot of potential if I can learn how to use him effectively.
There is power in the blood for those with the fortitude to pay the price.
I'm wondering, where did I put my other Antiquarian? Sort by class, because I know I have 2 of them. Well, okay, so now I can find Tessel as well. But we defeated the boss, but it wasn't really... I don't know, we defeated the boss and got a lot of heirlooms, but we're still broke and we lost 2 people, so it doesn't even really feel like much of a victory. Okay, guild. It's going to be a fair while before I have enough to get another point of instructor mastery. But let's just get a point of training regimen, because gold is consistently scarce. While I'm at it, let's see about upgrading one of the stress reduction. Oh, and Reynolds also isn't available anymore. Let's see if I can upgrade one of my stress reduction facilities, though. I could probably upgrade the Cloister. So I need 5 I need 5 busts to bring me up to 11. And then I need 6 crests to bring me up to 14. But now I can upgrade either of them, but since the Cloister is less expensive, it gets upgraded first.
A man in a robe, claiming communion with the divine.
And ironically, despite going on a mission in which we lost half the team, both Petramol and Engerand are actually perfectly ready to go out on another mission. Though before we do that, I am going to get us a fresh recording file. I will be back in a moment.
There is a great horror beneath the manor. A crawling chaos that must be destroyed.
Yes, I do actually want to equip all trinkets, but that's not what I meant to do. Yep, I am back, and looking at our financial situation, it's time to go antiquing. Let's see, I may as well keep those 2 around, and add to them. antiquarian. Let's go with the more experienced antiquarian. Oh, this would cause a town event. I didn't notice that. Completing this mission will cause a town event. Though, the issue with that is, we only have 3 people who are actually resolve level 3 or higher. Anyway, I need a good melee hero to go with these 2. And we don't have very many of those. But, you know what? The flagellant could do it. Now we got a medium-length mission, which is a decent amount of time to collect antiques. Though it means needing to bring some food. Start with 12, get some medicinal herbs, don't really need anti-venom. A couple of bandages, but not very many. A couple of shovels, a key or 2. Stick with just 1 key. I don't need to bring any of the blood because nobody has the Crimson Curse. I do need torches though. And I'll bring a second medicinal herbs and a little more food. And I think we can make it through with these supplies, plus 1 key. Alright, let's do this. Partially because I haven't unlocked either of the bosses in the cove yet.
These salt-soaked caverns are teeming with pelagic nightmares. They must be flushed out.
Okay, so I need to find out whether or not there's a room battle over here, and that means going through all of this, which is a great opportunity for hunger. I managed to disarm the tentacle monster. I still want to understand how exactly you guys do that. And yeah, I'm gonna have to go all the way into this room to find out what's in this room. But in the meantime, fish people! Okay, a sort of nervous stab. Nervous stab with a good 3-shot the acolyte. Go with weakening curse on the brawler so that he does less damage. And what is Punish's bleed chance? 100% base, and it bleeds for a lot. And it also reduces the target's bleed resistance. So yeah, Punish is actually pretty good. It just takes a few turns to get going, which is sometimes kind of a problem. Right, I forgot. Grape Shot Blast increases the chance that the target receives critical hits. Okay, that's the end of the grouper. That's the end of my faith in the Highwayman, and that's the end of my faith in humanity. And that's the end of my belief that we can complete this mission. Okay, we're done with the. We're down to just the brawler.
Destroy them all.
Stick with Punish. Punish is actually really good. And there we go. A weird reconstruction on the one guy who's meaningfully damaged. And that is the end of that.
On its own.
Day 7. We tangled with some unruly louts. Raven called them cultists. They were ferocious but clumsy. We've already had some combat, and pretty sure this is a holy water interaction and we don't have any. But we've already found our first antique, and let's find more.
Glittering gold,
And
trinkets
more of the
and
blood.
baubles, paid for in blood.
Blood-soaked pages from a torn journal. The wound is starting to fester. The flesh around it is gray, flaking, and rigid, almost scale-like. As I write this, my breathing has taken on a hollow timbre and is more labored. My compatriots are laughing and tell me not to worry. It's just the salt mist in the air that pervades these caverns. Anyway, I'm dropping one of the journal pages for the minor antique because minor antiques stack up to 20 apparently. So it's worth missing out on a journal page for one of those. And the stress wave, everyone's favorite ability. But it looks like we did need to come over here. And since I forgot to equip Sacrificial Stab, I'm still going to try to make the most of what the occultist can do. And go for some good old-fashioned mark exploitation. Okay, it'll take 2 hits of punish to get rid of the maggot. And upon further consideration, that marking the Guardian was a really bad call. I'm just gonna let the Flagellant handle the Guardian. Wait to see what they all do. Eventually, one of my heroes will actually get a turn. I think that's how those work. We do actually get turns occasionally. Okay, the Flagellant is actually kind of the best hero to take out both of these, the Guardian and the Maggot, because they have high protection, but he deals damage over time, and while they may have high bleed resistance, they can reduce their bleed resistance, and their debuff resistance is nothing impressive. Especially now that the Guardian has that extra protection.
By inches.
At this point, with Punish, he's kind of like the Plague Doctor on steroids.
Death. Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
He's kind of the Plague Doctor on steroids. He has the ability to just inflict damage over time and reduce the target's resistance to damage over time. That's the end of the grouper, and that leaves just the Guardian. However, we need healing badly. Weird reconstruction. Okay, 7. That's acceptable for weird reconstruction. And punish. And bleeding. And may as well add festering vapors on top of that because his blight resistance is terribly unimpressive.
Gently. This is how a life is taken.
And we'll find that with open vein. And since he dies next turn no matter what, there's really no point in attacking him. We may as well focus on healing even more. Ooh, 13. I forgot to equip trinkets too, didn't I? Oops. Like I said, I always forget something. It's rarely the same thing twice, but I always forget something. Right, I want to switch out Demon's Pull for Sacrificial Stab since everything in this area is Eldritch, apparently. And shovel open the giant oyster.
A fortune, waiting to be spent.
If we, looking at the antiques we've already gotten, combined with how good the antiquarian is at finding more, if we survive this mission, we're gonna be stinking rich. If. Which is good, because we have a lot of heroes that need a lot of upgrades, and those are expensive. Unfortunately, there's probably a room battle here and here, so there's gonna be quite a bit of backtracking. We got here, and more loot. Or not. It's not even made of antique. The crate isn't even made of antique wood for you to collect. Nobody has the Crimson Curse, so we don't have to worry about the Fanatic. I haven't encountered him yet. If it goes long enough without running into him, I'm tempted to actually, set up a team with several people with the Crimson Curse to deliberately try to provoke him. But I'm not going to do that until we're real powerful. Okay, that's the end of the Thrall. Pistol Shot will do 6 to 11. Open Vein will also do 6 to 11, but has a chance to cause bleeding. Or it could just get a critical and end the fight now. So we still have to deal with the deep stinger, but that is all we have to deal with. I like it that way.
Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Unfortunately, deep stingers are really fast. Zero. We were bound to get a 0 at some point, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm pretty sure the flagellant doesn't mind.
As the fiend falls,
He's probably relieved not to have been healed because healing is for the weak. I'm gonna drop this. I'm just gonna eat this stack of 2 food so I have more room for crests. I'm also. Oh. And the quirk removes the decision from me. I was considering using the shovel to clear off the barnacles, but it wound up not mattering. And our first fish carcass. Let's see if there's anything antique in the fish carcass. Because I'm sure there is some. Yep. Shovels, antiques, jewels. Fish carcasses are surprisingly profitable. Drop the journal page for the emerald. And we have yet to encounter anything that requires bandages. I'm actually going to trade them for the onyx. The jade can stay where it is. Ooh.
mechanical hazards.
Minus
possessed
20
by
dodge.
evil intent.
Minus 20 dodge for 12 rounds. Yeah, the trap debuff here is dangerous. Because the traps here don't cause damage over time like the traps in most of the other places do. Sacrificial stab is actually your best bet. Grape shot blast is 3 to 6. Pistol shot is 6 to 11.
Eradicated.
Okay, sacrificial stab was kind of unnecessary, but I didn't know that critical was going to happen. And festering vapors was just unhelpful. Leading on the first hit, the flagellant kind of has to pick up speed. It takes a couple of hits for his ability to finish an enemy off, but it still can do a lot. Unfortunately, Seaward Slash can also do a lot. Especially when the enemy gets to use it multiple times consecutively, because we surprised them. And that means they get 2 turns adjacent to each other. Oh joy. Alright, that's the end of the grouper. Well, next turn will be the end of the grouper, rather. And another critical. Yeah, if you keep getting criticals like that, I'd say they're outmatched. Unfortunately, Punish isn't going to one-shot, probably even if it gets a critical. Pistol shot, on the other hand. Okay, the third one isn't a critical. But it didn't need to be.
Success so clearly in view. Or is it merely a trick of the light?
I'm actually thinking I'm going to drop the portrait. Okay, we have scouting now. But not enough to tell me to help with this decision much. I'll drop the citrine for the crests, because crests stack really high. And we still have 8 crests that we need to drop something to get to be able to keep. I'll drop the 925. Actually, I'll drop the 1 portrait, because 1 portrait is not worth more than 8 crests, and definitely isn't worth more than 12. Eerie coral, I don't know what to do with that. Loot, I know exactly. Oh, it's empty already. I know exactly what to do with that. Like I said, disappointment. Okay. Really, the next thing we need to do is make camp. Okay, we're doing destruction because the highwayman is seriously injured. Can nervous stab get the kill? It can. Okay, the only one who has any reasonable chance of taking out the sea maggot is the flagellant, and there he goes. Yeah, the flagellant can be very powerful. He's just really hard to use effectively. He's confusing. He just has a whole bunch of abilities that are mechanically very weird. Makes it hard to use effectively. He's powerful. And open door to finish the job. There we go. I'll leave the situation.
Seize this momentum. Push on to the task's end.
I came in primarily going for gold, and we end up with 36 crests. Alright, firewood. We can't risk feasting.
Gathered
so
close in tenuous firelight and uneasy companionship.
Unfortunately, it looks like nobody has any abilities that prevent nighttime ambush. So instead, I'm going to have the highwayman clean his guns. I'm going to use Lash's Solace on the flagellate to get his stress down to basically 0. And then... unfortunately, I don't really have any way to treat the occultist's stress level. So, let's just rest. I don't want to use Trinket Scrounge because we're running out of inventory
Radiance,
space.
may we find victory.
And fortunately, we didn't have to deal with a midnight surprise. I still need to get back to making sure that every hero
ambushed by foul invention.
I still need to get back to making sure that every team has at least one hero that can deal with that situation if it arises.
Packs
Unfortunately, we just
laden
kind of
with
had to
loot
hope.
are often low on supplies.
Yeah, I'd say we're a little low on supplies, but that's really not due to being full of loot so much as due to being empty of money. Minus 40 dodge. How much dodge has he lost? All of it, really.
Wealth beyond measure, awarded to the brave and the foolhardy alike.
We don't have a health stone right now, so the health stone is actually likely to be more useful than 2 jade. Especially considering the fact that I can probably sell it for more than 2 jade would sell for. And so, honestly, this detour wasn't a waste, even though there isn't a room battle here. Because at least it got us the health stone. Or perhaps I'm just rationalizing to cope with the fact that this entire thing didn't progress us toward the end of the mission in any way whatsoever. But just let me have my delusions. Just let me convince myself that things are going well. Is that too much to ask? Wait a second, this is Darkest Dungeon. Optimism is definitely too much to ask. God damn it. I need to... I have these quirks I really need to get rid of, but they require that special substance known as gold, and we don't have it. Give me a problem like this, a problem I can solve with violence. That's what I really need. We have no shortage of violence. Punish. Be real nice if that could cause bleeding, but nope. Ah, call it. Damage, accuracy, and critical chance. Things you really don't... I'll take things you really don't want your enemies to have increased. Oh, grape shot and grape shot miss. And yep, the flagellate heals everyone if he gets knocked to death's door. Okay, punish. Still won't kill. Okay, he's not targeting the flagellate. That's good. And he is also not targeting the flagellate. The flagellate is just the luckiest man alive at this point. Grape shot blast only killed the guy who was basically already dead anyway. And nervous stab misses again. Okay, we're at least wearing them down. Stick with me.
Compassion is a
yeah,
rarity.
I think at this point the flagellate is actively resisting being healed. That's why he keeps getting such low rolls. Okay. Now we have just the grouper. Unfortunately, the grouper is enough.
As life ebbs, terrible vistas of emptiness reveal themselves.
I think the guy whose life is ebbing might actually disagree with me about that one. And there we go.
These nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
Have him eat a couple of food to get his health above 0. And of course, because there's treasure, there's also a room battle. Isn't that always the way? Actually, I think that literally is always the way. If there's treasure in a room, at least the kind of treasure that causes it to show up on the scouting map, there's always also a room battle. But since we need to find all the room battles anyway, this is really more good than bad. Okay, he's bleeding for 2 for 3. Alright. Exsanguinate. Which actually he can use to heal himself. Let's go with that.
And power.
Okay, you have... In fact, yeah, that basically one-shotted the front grouper. Now we can eliminate the second grouper, and we're already halfway done. I forgot about Exsanguinate. I kind of forgot what that could do, and he can use it again. That gives me an idea. Start by removing the corpse. And then everyone else can gang up on the one grouper. Okay, that was a clutch miss there. A clutch dodge. But because his health is still low enough and he still has uses of it remaining, he can use Exsanguinate again. Of course, without a critical, it won't one-shot the grouper. Especially if it fails to cause bleeding. And unfortunately, every time he does that, it reduces the healing he receives. But, there we go. Okay, what to give up?
Victory, but a victory nonetheless.
I'm happy to trade citrine for busts. I need the keys still. Let's see what the scouting reveals before I make any further decisions. Okay, scouting all the way to the end. There are 2 more room battles, so I can't drop the food. But, while there are curios that might be shovel interactions, there are no blockages, so I can drop the shovel in exchange for the portrait. And I can afford to lose the, I can afford to miss out on the medicinal herbs. But, we're likely to get heirlooms in this heirloom chest, and having existing stacks of them.
For a task well performed.
Okay, there's another chest, so I can't drop the skeleton key. At this point, do I want to... I'm just going to hold on to what I have, I think. It would actually be really helpful if we could get hungered. Thank you! Thank you. That's exactly what I needed. Now the flagellant isn't on death's door anymore. It's kind of funny. This was originally a mission all about getting cash, and it's just gradually evolved into a mission all about getting heirlooms. And there's an oyster I can't exploit anymore. Though for the heirlooms I got, I think that's worth it. Sacrificial stab won't kill, especially if it doesn't hit. Open vein also won't kill, but that isn't the goal. Just nervously stabbing the grouper. But I can use Exsanguinate again. And the extra bleeding will kill. Okay, Barnacle Barrier is not good, but it pretty much just means I have to use Punish on the Guardian. Or I can use a mixture of Punish and Open Vein. On the other hand, the Occultist really needs to focus on his other job as a main healer. In the meantime, the Antiquarian can keep working on the grouper. Open Vein has a small chance to inflict bleeding. Wait, is bleeding... oh, right, Open Vein also reduces the target's bleeding resist. I forgot about that. But, Punish has an even higher chance of inflicting bleeding, and I can just keep working at it until... oh, he resisted the debuff, too. Wait, he has 10% debuff resistance, and he managed to resist the debuff.
Beyond one's limits.
Okay, I'm still healing the, whatever, the penitent? The flagellant. Flagellant is the word I'm looking for. I'm still healing. I'm just gonna start calling him Larry. I'm still healing him. Even though that will take away the damage buff. Actually, it won't. It's still below 40% HP. But because damage over time is what we actually need. Like so. He has 12 and he's bleeding for 7. It's the end of him. Unfortunately, it's almost the end of the highwayman while we're at it. Okay, just go for some healing. Not very much. Go for whatever healing you can get. Unfortunately, we're out of bandages. Good thing is we're not out of ammunition. Actually gonna go with Flame. That will at least negate the damage over time that the highwayman is taking. Because unfortunately our main healer appears to be malfunctioning a little bit right now.
Annihilated.
Alright.
As victories
I'm
mount,
not risking the oyster.
so too will resistance.
Just gonna power through to the end of the mission with what we've got. And I'm not risking that either because that can cause damage over time, and we're really on our last hit points right now. So Festering Vapors only deals 1 point of blight damage per turn, so I'm just gonna go with Nervous Stab again. But that will one-shot if it causes bleeding. It did. Open Vein won't one-shot, but it'll at least makes... Or it will, if it causes bleeding, which it didn't. Like I said, the main healer appears to be malfunctioning a little bit. He's just kind of having an off day. I guess he's having a low blood sugar day or something. But that's at least one of them that's gone. And he did get hit by the debuff, which reduces... No, he didn't. He didn't get hit by anything. But yes, Open Vein does debuff the target, reducing their bleed resistance. Unfortunately, his bleed resistance is still enough. Actually, gonna have the Flagellant go after the Deep Stinger, because he can actually make that bleed. And Festering Vapors on the Sea Maggot. And that worked. Unfortunately, now the Antiquarian is in critical health. I think everybody is. It's all the bleeding after we dumped the bandages because I forgot that there was this much bleeding. Alright, go for another reconstruction. And finally we get a high roll. Alright, Punish. That's at least a start. In fact, that's almost a finish. I just need to cause 2 damage to this thing somehow. And how? I wanted 2, but I'll settle for 9.
This expedition at least promises success.
Okay, we're close enough to the end that I'm willing to gamble that we will not encounter hunger between now and the end of the mission. So we'll eat the food to take the crests, and by the end of this mission, I think we will actually have 0 supply items in our inventory. Usually we have at least a little bit of unused supplies to sell back. This time I think that's not going to happen. Okay, Punish. Punish inflicts only 4 points of bleeding, so I'm just going to go use that on the Grouper. Okay. And Weakening Curse on the Guardian reduces protection a little bit. And Pistol Shot on the Grouper, and that's the end of the Grouper. Nervous Stab on the Guardian. It won't do much, but there's not really much else you can do. Unfortunately, we have to deal with a stress wave, which means the flagellant is afflicted because I've been told, the flagellant always becomes rapturous when its stress hits 100.
One can sometimes find clarity in madness, but only rarely.
And so, basically, it's considered an affliction, but I'm not sure exactly how it behaves. Basically, he will always become rapturous specifically when his stress reaches 100. Nothing else can ever happen in that situation. So a sacrificial stab on the Guardian. Nervous stab also on the Guardian. Punish on the Guardian. Bleeding for 4, so now I need you to not kill, but there we go! Okay, because that will force the drowned thrall into position 2, where everyone can target. Oh, shit. Okay, that was the best way that could possibly have gone. I thought they couldn't self-destruct until you damaged them. I thought wrong. So if you leave them alone for long enough...
Perched at the very precipice of oblivion.
Yeah, but that just means that he can use Exsanguinate. So, if you leave a thrall for too long without damaging it at all, it will still self-destruct. Fortunately, everybody except the Flagellant knows when to duck. And frankly, I think the Flagellant knows, he just doesn't care. Nervous stab, nervous miss. Oh, it was a nervous stab, I suppose it's appropriately missed. And he resists bleeding, which means he lives with a single hit point. You know, Mr. Pelagie Shaman, you're trapped in position 1, you have 1 hit point, and there are 4 of us. This is one of those times where running away is the better part of valor. But you refuse, and so you die.
Be wary. Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
Take the deeds. And I'm going to hold on to everything else, but we're going to continue adventuring. Shift Control click to snuff the torch.
Secrets and wonders can be found in the most tenebrous corners of this place.
Because snuffing the torch increases loot, and there are no more enemies left.
If only treasure could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption.
Okay, the only thing I could conceivably drop might be the blood, but I'm actually going to hold on to the blood because I'm probably going to need it. So, time to hit the road.
Marine life can flourish, if indeed there is such a thing.
And we made a pretty tidy profit. 16,000 gold for a novice level mission, plus the 4,500 reward. And the move amulet, which can be very useful in the hands of the right hero. But even though gold was my primary objective here, the real star of the show is heirlooms, which is good because we need them badly. Let's see what the final total is. In addition to 2 portraits over there, we got 60 crests and then a decent haul of busts, portraits, and deeds. And some people leveled up. And we have another one of those forced action quirks. And perfect. The highwayman is unerring. That's excellent. Because you know how I always love to use highwaymen in mark exploitation teams. A highwayman with higher damage for his range skills is extremely helpful.
Women and men, soldiers and outlaws,
6 more recruits than usual,
and corpses. All will find their way to us now that the road is clear.
The question is, do I actually want to get any of them? Well, I would need to trade some stuff. I could potentially expand the hero barracks. And then, accept some of these people that way. The main reason I would do so is so that I can have a Hellion and possibly a second occultist, since we only have 1. What would I need to give up in order to do that? I need 10 deeds. More crests, it would take more busts than I have. If I gave up all my portraits, I could get 12 deeds, which would bring me up to 18. So I'm going to do that, since it also increases the size of the roster by a lot. I'm going to take the occultist
to
and
fight
a Hellion.
the abyss, one must know it.
And then, who else do I want to take? Because I have 2 more spaces. What am I low on? Sort by class for a moment. Not only do I only have one man-at-arms, but my one man-at-arms has the Crimson Curse. Having a man-at-arms that doesn't would be a good idea.
The raw strength of youth may be spent, but his eyes hold the secrets of 100 campaigns.
And who would be a good last one to take? I'll just take a second how many Crusaders do I have? I think Reynold is my only Crusader, so I'll take a second Crusader.
A mighty sword arm anchored by holy purpose. A zealous warrior.
So, and now I would need portraits if I want to, and I need a lot of them if I want to upgrade my, yeah, I now can't upgrade any aspect of the guild because I don't have enough portraits. However, the blacksmith, perhaps. Yeah, the blacksmith requires deeds instead of portraits, but even so, the only thing I could reasonably upgrade would be the furnace, which would be pretty valuable to upgrade. I'd need how many deeds? 9, so I need to gain 7. And how many, but it only takes 10 crests, so if I trade away all of my busts, and also trade away a handful of crests, yeah, it takes 9, so then I can upgrade the blacksmith's furnace, so
mold the metal.
Less expensive.
We are raising an army.
So, yeah, the only other things I could upgrade pretty much are the Nomad Wagon or the Survivalist, and I can't upgrade the Survivalist because I can't afford it. So, the question is, do I upgrade wagon size or merchant network, or do I save my crests to upgrade what I would consider more important stuff next week when I can get more trinkets? Honestly, I'm gonna hold on to my 26 crests because I'm likely to need them to upgrade something else that's a bit more necessary. In the meantime, let's get some stress treatment. Use my freshly upgraded cloister to treat a few people, and I will be sincerely surprised if the Flagellant can use anything other than the Penance Hall for stress treatment. Yep, it looks like he can only use the Penance Hall. Which is, well, rather appropriate to his class. But that's all the stress treatment taken care of. Let's look into and Reynold is still cloistered. It's going to be a while before we see Reynold again. However, let's upgrade Vivio a little bit. And I really need to upgrade his skills. Because I am thinking about... I don't think I'm going to be able to do it during this episode. But I am thinking about going after that next Crimson Court mission. And the thing is, it's arguably smarter to go after those missions with heroes that already have the Crimson Curse. Because you're guaranteed to run into enemies that can cause the Crimson Curse. But if you already have it, they can't make the situation worse, and I suspect you're more likely to find the blood in the courtyard than you are to find it in other regions. And who else can I upgrade? Because I actually have some cash all of a sudden. Upgrade. Learn tracking shot, upgrade open vein, and grape shot blast. And also, you have a disease that I should probably treat. If Reynold were available, I would get rid of his negative quirk, but unfortunately he isn't. Though with this extra cash, it might not be a bad idea to spend the rest of it on getting rid of negative quirks for people who I can. Vivial's Torn Rotator, let's get rid of that. It only costs 1,300 gold since it isn't locked in yet, but that really is all the gold I should spend for now. So, let's do one last mission for this episode. Let's see what you got for me. Ooh, I could take on the Siren, and I would get the Mercurial Solve, which gives you extra damage versus Bloodsuckers. That's potentially good. Question is, who do I send? Who's available to take on the Siren who would actually be good at it? Let's see. Because the other issue with going after the Siren is because she can mind control people, you spend most of the fight down one hero. And the other thing is I don't want to send too many people with the Crimson Curse on the same mission, because if I do, that increases the probability of getting attacked by the Fanatic. On the other hand, most of the experienced people are either being treated for their stress or have the Crimson Curse, so I don't really have the ability to put together a good team to go after the Siren. Because, yeah, one of my occultists is receiving stress treatment. The experienced occultist is receiving stress treatment, the one we just got, who doesn't really have any of the good occultist abilities, is the one who's available. So, let's see. What I need, fundamentally, is a good front runner, some heroes that are good at exploiting marked targets, and, yeah, I don't want to take on the Siren just yet because the people I have are just not high enough level to do it correctly. Instead, I'm going to go to the ruins and just get some experience from the people. And the game knows me now. I have a Crusader that starts off with Smite, Zealous Accusation, Stunning Blow, and Inspiring Cry. Exactly the way I like it. Let's see, I'll bring a Plague Doctor in position 3 and a Vestal in position 4. And let's actually move the Crusader to position 2 and let the Hellion get some experience. Got a nice mixture of experienced and new people. Gonna equip all trinkets. Okay. The Vestal has the right abilities also, but that's because I've already trained her a bit. Give the Vestal a Worry Stone and a Dodge Stone. The Occultist gets the Rot Gut Sensor and, lacking any better options, the Diseased Herb. Crusader, as always, Paralyzer's Crest and Swordsman's Crest. And we have the Hellion, the Health Stone, just because her max HP is so naturally low. And the Warrior's Cap. Usually give that to a Leper, but we don't have one right now. Well, not on this mission, anyway. Need to bring a generous supply of food. Don't need to worry about bringing any of the blood, though, because you're not bringing anybody who craves the blood. Some anti-venom. Some bandages. Especially drop a little bit of anti-venom. There aren't very many causes to use it, but several keys. Decent supply of holy water. There is a use for medicinal herbs here. And torches. I didn't almost forget the torches. Okay, yes, I did almost forget the torches. And yeah, the undead will not bleed, but they can be blighted. Actually, I've seen a video somewhere. Someone managed to make the
halls
undead
of your
bleed.
lineage once familiar.
Ooh.
Now,
1, 2,
foreign.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I can't skip. I probably can't skip 2 rooms. So I'm going to go to this room, and then if scouting tells me there's something good here, I'll go. Actually, I'll do both of these. And a team composition that's perfect for being hit by Plague Grenade. And smite and miss. You won't miss, will you? Yes, you will. Wonderful.
The light, the
So the
promise
support
of
classes
safety.
are the only ones who actually know what they're doing in this mission. More blanket fire, at least this one managed to miss, in spite of the debuff that reduces evasion. Oh, right, because of the turn order, they get to go multiple times. Actually, there's one more Plague Grenade to make sure both of them die before they get another action. Wicked Hack, Wicked Miss, Smite. They're apparently really good at evading Divine Wrath.
Unforeseen.
So that's kind of what Smite is supposed to be. Really wishing I had trinkets that increased healing, because the Vestal could use some. Okay, stick with Wicked Hack, and it finally manages to connect. Noxus Blast on the other guy. Damage is irrelevant. Blight is all that matters.
Death by inches.
Ah, slice and dice. It was only a matter of time. Have the Vestal just stick with healing. 1 to 3 healing for the entire party is enough. And Zealous Accusation to put the fight to bed.
Maintain the offensive.
And a little farther. And... well, at least it was uneventful, I suppose. Well, except for hunger, I suppose that qualifies as an event. But that's essential. Aside from that one hallway battle, that means it's essentially 2 free explored rooms. Which is good, because there's going to be a lot of backtracking in this mission, because, well, we have a big map. So... I need to get all 3 of these rooms in this circle. The route that has the least backtracking is to go to this room and then back out and go the other way. Otherwise, I'd have to backtrack through this hallway, which is longer. Again, Wicked Hack. Wickedly failing to kill the enemy. Judgment, that's just a start. There's a larger plan here. Which is Plague Grenade, finish the job. Down to 4 and Blighted to 4. Zealous Accusation might kill, but didn't really expect it to. But Noxus Blast will finish the job.
Onslaught.
And there we go.
Them.
Inspiring Cry on the hero with the highest stress. Adrenaline Rush, because you may as well heal yourself. And Divine Comfort, gives a little bit of healing for everyone, while we just wait for the skeleton to finally realize that it's dead.
Gently. This is how a life is taken.
You sound like you know that from experience, Ancestor. No, who am I kidding? Of course you know that from experience. Also, how do the skeletons still have hairs attached to them if they don't have flesh? Or is there flesh that's just kind of desiccated and stuck to their skull? If it bleeds, we do 5 to 10. That's too much of a risk.
Be gone, fiend.
Okay, Noxious Blast, 1 to 2, plus Blighting for 5. I'll do that on the Rabble. Dazzling Light on the Courtier who's farther away. And all of that so that one of them is stunned and I can smite the other one. That way we don't have to deal with Tempting Goblet anymore. And if it bleeds, because it can reach position 3, and because if the question you're asking is, can the Hellion kill this, the answer is always yes. It doesn't matter if it can't bleed, she can still kill it.
A momentary abatement. Great
And
is
there
the
we
weapon
go.
that cuts on its own.
And a decent haul of heirlooms for that weak of a room battle. Okay, and if I've done this right, I should be able to skip this room. Which means this room is definitely going to have treasure in it that I'm going to go for it anyway and actually explore 100% of rooms. Ooh. And step in 100%
Mechanical
of
hazards
traps.
possessed by evil intent.
And lose 100% of heroes. Okay, that's fundamentally useless scouting. It didn't reveal any traps, and it's just revealing information about an area we have to go to anyway. And now for an actually challenging enemy team composition. Start, which is Wicked Hack on the soldier. It could kill. Quarrel isn't that bad. And over the course of a couple of turns, the Plague Doctor can take out these two, but that's going to be a slow process. I'd like to pull them forward so they can take them out faster. And Zealous Accusation could kill both of these. Or it could kill neither of them. That's also possible. Never underestimate the capacity for things to just go wrong. Especially when tempting Goblin is involved. We can hack again.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Get rid of one of them. Okay, that's the end of the. Okay, that's the end of the back line. Thank you, Plague Doctor. Two things the Plague Doctor is good at: killing enemies in ways that don't leave corpses, and terrorizing the enemy back line while the front line is still intact. And smites to do the last of what we need done. But not only that, because the Arbalist is slow, I get to do a whole bunch of healing before any of this, before it finally keels over. Or not. I get to do a little bit of healing.
Give them no quarter.
I was hoping I would get to use Inspiring Cry, but apparently not. But more heirlooms. It's good, we need to weave some more heirs very badly. There's some curios in this hallway, but I'm not going to worry about that. The goal here is just, we're playing to par. Par is completing the mission with no fatalities. Okay. Last torch.
If only treasure could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption.
Crests, actually. After this room battle, we're going to need to make camp just because we're running out of torches and we need a light source. Okay, I definitely stand by the decision to keep the crests there. Okay. Stick with Plague Grenade. Once again, great way to mess with the enemy's backline, assuming they're not highly resistant to blight. Okay, this bleeds for 2 and we'll do 4 to 8. Wicked Hack does not bleed and we'll do 6 to 12. Really with Wicked Hack. And Stunning Blow. Okay, we're gonna be eating a little bit of firepower. Also, this welcome to another mission in which I forgot to check which camping skills my heroes had, so the night is probably going to be interesting if we survive this mission. Or if we survive this battle, I mean. Ooh, blank shot. And one more blanket fire. Okay, one more plague grenade. Smites! I was gonna say, smite makes right.
Monstrous
and there we go.
Size has no intrinsic merit.
Now just get a little healing in. Oh, we wait for them to die.
Considered a virtue.
Battlefield medicine, because of course. And there we go.
The fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
And I can make camp before I have to close this window, which gets me another inventory space.
A spark without kindling is a goal
Feast.
without hope.
Take all. You don't have Zealous Vigil. You're incapable of learning camping skills that prevent ambush. So again, no. Okay, let's go with Prey. Let's go with Zealous Speech. You can at least reduce the stress levels to basically 0. Sharpened Spear. And hope for no midnight surprises.
The match is struck. A blazing star is born.
Locked sarcophagus. I'm using the key. Opens the sarcophagus to reveal its contents, and it's 300 gold.
For a task well performed.
So, We spent a key, and in exchange we received barely more gold than it cost to buy the key. But we found a secret room, and that means we get trapezohedrons. I'm gonna come back for that at the end, though. And right now, we get everyone's favorite, cultists! Okay, smite. That's a good start. Ow.
Mortality clarified in a single strike.
Actually, gotta go for Noxious Blast. It will kill the cultist brawler. You can use Adrenaline Rush.
Compassion
Actually, I
is
should
a
have just used
rarity
Abandon,
in the
honestly.
fevered pitch of battle.
Well, let's have the Vestal actually get a little bit of healing in before we resort to inflicting damage. Okay, that corpse will be gone momentarily. I may as well go for Noxious Blast on the Brawler. Then, really depends on what the enemy's turn order is. Okay, Zealous Accusation to get rid of the corpse and essentially get rid of the Brawler, and now I can use Quick Attack. And it does just barely not enough damage. And Judgment fails to finish the job. So we're just gonna have to deal with the Acolyte next turn. Well, that'll do. And the Plague Doctor gets impatient and goes for the critical.
Compassion is a rarity in the fevered pitch of battle.
Go with Adrenaline Rush, because this guy's gonna die next turn no matter what. And there he goes.
This expedition at least promises success.
Okay, actually gonna drop the Holy Water for the busts. I know there are a lot of Holy Water interactions, but none of them are as useful to me as having more heirlooms is. I will come back for the secret room, because I'm probably going to have to drop supply items to be able to carry what's in there. And so I'd rather do that when I have the ability to just get out.
Now it must be carried home.
And more scouting. Okay, so we have one more room battle and one more hallway battle, and then we can all go home. And nothing must be left undisturbed. When it comes to torches, I'm fine with that. But... And now we just enter the realm of nothing, well, except for the one fight. Nothing and hunger. Frankly, I may not have to drop any supply items. We'll just use them all up by the time we get to the end of the mission. Ah, more skeletons, including, I believe, our first bone defender for this mission. Plague Grenade. Just smite the soldiers and get rid of him. So now we just have the defender and the Arblists. And I'd rather not be hit by, I'd rather not have him use bone, I want to call it Barnacle Barrier, or Bone Bulwark. It's all this alliteration, it's confusing. But apparently I don't have a choice in the matter, unless he uses Axe Blade again. Nope, dead weight. This should do the job. Almost. Ow, but not before allowing that critical through.
In concentration.
Divine Grace. We're rid of them now, but first, we just need to get rid of the defender. Okay. Battlefield Medicine. Critical Battlefield Medicine. Old-fashioned Divine Comfort while we're at it. And another Adrenaline Rush. It would be really nice if the Crusader could go before the Arbalist, but that's too much to ask. I can't really afford to take any of this stuff. Oh, that was the end of the mission. I guess I do get to skip 2 rooms. Well, let's do the last hallway battle on our way back to the secret room. Especially when the last hallway battle is just maggots. Surprisingly durable maggots. Really surprisingly durable maggots. Apparently only the Hellion can reliably one-shot them. And we managed to find a disease in our brief extra detour. Okay, just finish them off with judgment. Calling down divine lightning to kill a maggot.
Ghoulish horrors, brought low and driven into the mud.
Now we just have one trap, and then I can open that secret door. And, unfortunately, we didn't really bring anybody who's actually good at disarming traps.
Art, his efficacy unwitnessed by his own eyes.
Okay, we can't... Well, you just removed the decision for me, because the thing is, I can't, use my last key, because I need that for the secret door. Which is right here. And use a skeleton. Contains great treasures. 2 trapezohedrons and a head. Barristan's head. Plus 25% protection, but, as you'd expect from carrying around a severed head, plus 20% stress. Drop the anti-venom for that, and let's get out of here before the headhunter shows up and wants his stolen property back.
The sloped walls of our ancestry are beginning to feel familiar.
13,000 gold without bringing an antiquarian. That's what happens when you do medium-length missions. Well, actually, that's what happens when... Considering the fact that these two together are 7,000, that's what happens when you get lucky and get a secret room. But also, 16 busts and 24 crests. But the real star of the show is the experience. Natural, plus 20% max HP when wearing no trinkets, plus 20% healing received when wearing no trinkets, and plus 3 speed when wearing no trinkets. That's interesting. That's an interesting effect. So, early on, that's actually really good when the trinkets that you have do very little good, and you just might want to replace that with something else later when you have access to really good trinkets. And the Plague Doctor is a slugger. Well, I mean, his only really good direct damage ability is Incision, so that's actually pretty helpful.
The degeneracy of the hamlet
and the stress
is
levels
nothing,
are good
I
and low.
fear, when compared to the condition of surrounding
And
acres.
Reynold is back in operation. No, I don't want to treat the quirks, I want to treat the fits. So I'm also going to need to treat the stress later. How many people? I believe we still only have 3 people who are resolved. Yeah, we only have 3 people who are resolved level 3 or higher, though we have a lot of people who are close to resolve level 3. And a lot of gold I could potentially spend first. Right, you don't use busts, you use deeds. Let's see about the guild. So I would need 13 portraits to get a... So I could get 5 if I traded away all my busts. I can't trade away more than 12 crests. 5 plus 2 is not 13, so I actually can't trade my way into being able to get the next level of Instructor Mastery. And I'm also not going to be able to trade my way into getting the next level of weapon or armor smithing. And frankly, those are the things that I really need. I suppose I can look into upgrading stress treatment facilities. Increasing the number of bar slots to 2 is probably worth it. I need 4 portraits for that. And I'm clicking on the wrong arrow. Make the trade. And let's upgrade the bar so that I have 2 more bar slots for when the stress levels get real high. But that's actually going to be the end for this part. with our finally actually being properly solvent and making some significant progress on upgrading structures within the hamlet. So, thank you all for watching. I love you all, and I will see you next time.